Good day and welcome to you all. Matthew here again. We are at the Manufacturers Cup round two of the final season. Group 4 at Yamagiwa, as you can see up the top. So I started 5th, which was quite a surprise. The first time I'd actually hit 139s in the Ferrari, and quite a good time to do it in qualifying. I don't usually pull out my fastest times in qualifying, but I managed to knock one out of the park and started 5th, and I was pretty happy with that. We had really decent points for 4th, so that was my target ultimately. I did know I qualified ahead of some faster drivers like Konzio and Bass and Blitz behind me, like right behind me. So I knew I was going to be under pressure right from the get-go. So my goal was to try to hang on to Mint and hopefully Mint just ahead in the Porsche, hopefully use his draft, hoping that Blitz would make a mistake or an error and just create a bit of a gap so we could make a break for it. That was the plan. And then I knew Monkey in 3rd. He's in the V-dub. I knew from the first race, because this is the second race of the night, I knew from the first race that his tyres go off quite badly and he starts to lose a lot of pace at the end of the race. So I thought if I can hang on to 5th, I might be able to get Monkey at the end and pick up a 4th place. So that was the goal. Holland and Double H were just on fire up ahead, and they just pulled away from the field. They had really incredible pace. I think they hit a 39.2 and a 39.4 in quali. So just head and shoulders above the field. Did a really nice job. But that was my goal, that was the plan. And so far, after a lap, things are going okay. It's sort of ebbing and flowing. I'm staying about 3/10 behind Mint and ahead of Blitz. Konzio in the first round had quite a poor race, so I wasn't actually too worried about the Hyundai. He was a bit slow. I think it might have been a penalty, and then he was slower in the later stages, so I wasn't too worried about him. I didn't think he would bother me too much in this race, but a little bit later on he's a bit of trouble. A lot of trouble actually. Jumping forward to lap 3, and this is where things start to spice up. Mint gets it a little bit wrong, or a lot wrong going in there. Cuts that corner, I believe it was the second apex that cost him, and it gives him a 1.5 second penalty. He then for some reason gets well out of the way out of here. Don't know if he made a mistake on the brakes and just stayed wide, or what he was doing, but you notice in the background Konzio goes deep on the brakes and gets past Blitz, and Bass I think gets past Blitz, or gets pretty close. So we'll just go watch that from that perspective. Konzio, the Hyundai is really fast at the moment. Gets a decent enough run. That's quite a dive from back there. Quite a dive. Pulls it up though. Nicely done. I think he gets a bit of a push from Bass behind and gets him ahead of Blitz. Really nice move. I thought that was late. I thought that was going to go into the side of Blitz, to be honest, but he does a nice job. Sticks to the apex and pulls off 5th and is right behind me. And this straight, I was like, okay, I know he's in my draft. He was 0.2 or 0.3 back, but the rate of close, this is the first time in the draft that I've seen a car close so quickly, and that had me worried. And I knew he was 0.25 of a second going through that corner, and he stayed with me, like holding that exact gap right through that corner. So either I was horrendously slow, or that car can just do it. I go defensive. I thought I'd brake at the right point. Probably the right point for that point in the track, but he just blitzes me around the outside. Really nice move. And you would have noticed in the background of that last shot that Bass got through on blitz through that long left-hander and then gave me some trouble into that hairpin. I positioned my car reasonably well, managed to defend and hold my position into there. But I knew he was going to try to get me at some stage. But he was 0.2, 0.3 of a second back here, so I wasn't defending into this line, and he just goes and throws up the inside. Pushes me out the way. Wasn't really concerned by the apex. I get a better run out of the corner because he was so slow, trying to get the car around. I try to pit him to the left-hand side. I do something quite silly here where I end up tapping him. At the time, I was trying to hold him to the left-hand side, and I thought he was actually coming across on me. But looking at the replay, he actually held a steering wheel straight, so that wasn't on him at all. That was my own mistake. I must have been inadvertently turning it to the left. I don't believe I was at the time, but looking at the replay, I see my steering wheel dot moving to the left slightly, just enough to tap him. So my own silly mistake in trying to get back that position ultimately cost me that place, 6th place, when Blitz gets past me on that long left-hander. And so now I've dropped 3 places in the space of a lap. So what I was hoping for in a 4th is now looking like an almighty task. I didn't actually mean to go up the inside of Blitz there. I think I was just out of the draft a little bit, and his braking position was a bit earlier than mine, and I got up the side of him. I didn't actually mean to, I guess, go up the inside there. It just cost me a few tenths anyway in doing so. So next time I'm just going to back off a bit more. But I'm going to jump back now to that pass that bastard. Just from his perspective, he's a long way behind. This is not a pass I would ever do or attempt to do. He was never going to make that apex and just pushes me out the way. It's not what I'd expect from a driver of his caliber, or anybody really hitting top split in these rims. It's just not how you do things. My bumps were a bit silly, were really silly actually. And then I tried turning in on him. I was quite angry, as you probably imagine, being, dived on from that far back and pushed out the way. I wasn't deliberately hitting him. I thought he'd actually come across on me to take a better line into that corner, but it was me actually hitting him, so sorry for that. That was my own mistake, and I'll rectify that for next time, because it is a move that I use. I try to pin people to the inside of the track to give them as poor of a line as possible into the next corner. That's if I'm not gaining a lot on them, and I felt I needed to then, but I misjudged that, and I ran into him a few times. They weren't nothing major, but it wasn't good anyway, so not good on my behalf. Coming into the last 2 laps, or 1.5 laps, I've been battling with Blitz for 2 or 3 laps now, just trying to find a way past. Really tough. That Mazda, he's got the Mazda going really nicely. So I go up the left, he does defend. I was yelling at him at this stage actually. I was just saying, pick a line, take the left, take the right, just pick one of them so I can choose the other. But he defended well into that corner. I think I was still frustrated after that incident with Bass earlier. I try to look up the inside. This is a silly place to go, so I back out of it pretty quick. He goes a bit wide, I go up the left hand side of him. I know going around the outside of this hairpin is going to be a tough ask. If you notice up ahead that Conzio got ahead of Monkey this lap, and Bass is right on the back of him because Monkey's tyres are going, so he's falling back slowly. And if I wasn't stuck behind Blitz, I may have been up there and may have been able to get Monkey myself, but unfortunately, I have a look down the inside, I take the inside line. He gives me just enough room. I think there's a wee tap there, and I get past him. Just have the upper hand going into this, and he gives me the position, which is the smart thing to do, because going through here side by side is not going to happen. It's just going to cost, one of us is going to go off, or it's going to cost us a lot of time. So it was really good driving by Blitz Just want to jump back to there. See, if he did get a push, my car didn't touch it, but there would have been a bit of lag. Let's just see. I don't know, he did accelerate at that time, didn't he? It's hard to tell. I don't know if that was a push from me. It might have been. Certainly didn't intend to. I was trying to keep as far to the left as possible. But I did appreciate the position. Thank you, Blitz. And that was pretty much the race. I end up holding off Blitz for 6th. He hounds me for the last half of the lap, trying to get it back, but I managed to just hold him off. He raced me hard though, so it was good work. Really tight racing. Bit of a frustrating race. After going into the race, looking at the points, I was like 7th or better would be great. 4th would be a dream, points-wise and position. But after qualifying, and qualifying 4th or 5th, I think, I had a little bit higher expectations. I was quite surprised. I knew I'd qualify to get ahead of some guys that may have been faster than me, or definitely were faster than me. And so I knew it was always going to be tough. But I still had that expectation, I guess, going in, thinking, oh, I can get 4th or 5th out of this. This is going to be brilliant. But a little bit frustrating with how the incident ended up, which obviously cost me a position to best, but also my own behaviour in trying to retaliate. Not in a nasty way, but just trying to get that position back almost immediately, rather than going in with a cooler head and thinking about it and attacking him from a better way, or at a later date, because the Subaru he was driving was about on pace with the Ferrari. We weren't really that far apart, so I'm sure at some stage I could have gotten a draft off him and gotten back around him. But yeah, silly move by me there. It cost me a position to Blitz, which in theory could have cost me the position to Monkey later on in the race. So rather than coming 5th or 4th even, going in a bit hot-headed down that straight and trying to get that position back straight away ended up costing me. So it's just something I've got to take on board for next time. And it's not how I want to race, but sometimes emotions get the better of you and you react not how you want, or not how you intend to. Intend to? Yeah. Not how you intend to. So yeah, tough racing, tough night all round, but it was good. Looking back, pretty happy with 6th, and I've got some things to work on for next time I'm out. So thank you for coming along and watching. I really do appreciate it. And we've got Group 3 Le Mans on Saturday, which is going to be amazing for the Manufacturers Cup. So looking forward to that. Until then, see you next time.